An event, a myth with so many eyewitnesses whose every minute of biographical details have been verified. What about Columbus's and Vasco da Gama voyages? This Chakravarti format is a confirmed manuscript. Dhruv Ratee's research lacks proper analysis and thorough investigation of the available evidence. When he says Muhammad split the moon with his sword, it shows clear ignorance on the part of Dhruv Ratee. Nowhere it is mentioned it was with his sword. In fact, it was with a gesture of Muhammad, private peace be upon him. The NASA images argument is a weak argument. Bismillahi wassalatu wassalam ala Rasulillah. Dhruv Ratee's assertion dubbing the moon splitting by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is a myth reflects his lack of thorough research and proper analysis of the available evidence. Contrary to relying on NASA images, the weaker argument by some Muslims, we present here far more compelling evidence to support the authenticity of the moon splitting event by Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing of Allah be upon him. Let me remind the Muslims and non-Muslims, the moon splitting was a miracle and so was its rejoining. If Allah could split the moon, He could rejoin it exactly as it was without any cracks or ridges. Therefore, Muslims should not be resorting to the weaker argument by claiming that the ridges or cracks in the moon's surface are due to moon splitting by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, or the argument that such cracks have been confirmed by NASA. Where did the bright moon come from? There are many theories, but one theory states that a planet roughly the size of Mars named Theia collided with the Earth 4.5 billion years ago to form the moon. Although some artists have produced rendered images to visualize this theory, there is no actual eyewitness, video footage, or social media post from that distant time. Despite the absence of eyewitness accounts or tangible proof, many concepts are accepted based on specific pieces of evidence. Consider, for instance, the historical narrative of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Among them, only the pyramids of Giza still stand today, allowing us to physically witness them. However, the remaining 6 wonders lack tangible evidence and eyewitnesses. Yet we accept them as real due to oral traditions, even in the absence of any first-hand reports or physical remnants. The splitting of the moon and its rejoining, however, transcends the ordinary. It is an awe-inspiring event, unlike the constructions of colossal buildings. Our structures are like the asteroid impacts. Given the extraordinary nature of this phenomena, demanding robust evidence is reasonable. Now, how can we ascertain whether the moon ever split and rejoined? Ideally, eyewitness accounts would provide clarity, and remarkably, such accounts exist. The non-believers in Mecca challenged Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, demanding a miraculous demonstration. They asked him to split the moon, and in response, the Prophet, peace be upon him, prayed to Allah, and miraculously, when he indicated with his finger, the moon split before the eyes of witnesses. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, the eyewitness, is well documented in historical records. We have precise information about him. His full name is Abdullah, his father's name is Mas'ud, and even we have details about his family, such as having a brother named Utbah. Further details include his marital status. He was married to Zainab, and we know about his children. Born in 594 and passing away in 653, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud's life is meticulously recorded, adding credibility to his account. So who did Abdullah ibn Mas'ud share the event with? He related the account to a man named Abu Ma'mar, and whose father is Sakhbara. Abu Ma'mar told it to Ibrahim al-Nakhi, who is the son of Yazid, and whose grandfather's name is Qais. So Qais told it to Sulaiman al-A'mash, who is the son of Mahran. The entire chain of narrators from Abdullah ibn Mas'ud to Sulaiman is well documented, known to us through historical records. Not only do we have information about narrators, but we also possess details about their reliability, memorization capabilities, and trustworthiness. Contrasting this with other historical events such as the Hanging Gardens of Babylon or the Lighthouse of Alexandria, the moon splitting event has a more robust chain of eyewitness accounts. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud is not the sole witness. There is a whole community of eyewitnesses. I repeat, the whole community. It's not a work of unreliable history books, but eyewitnesses in large number. Another narration relates the event through Jubair ibn Mut'im, who was born in Mecca and initially a non-Muslim. Jubair embraced Islam in 628 at the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, preceding the Prophet Muhammad's migrations to Medina in 622. This means that as a non-Muslim, Jubair bore witness to the moon-splitting event during the Prophet's time in Mecca. Jubair, son of Mut'im, told Muhammad. Muhammad, son of Jubair, told Hussein. Hussein, son of Abdul Rahman, told Sulaiman. Sulaiman, son of Ibn Kathir, told Muhammad, who is also the son of Ibn Kathir. Detailed information about Jubair's family, including his son Nafi and his death in 679. So we have every minute detail about his life. Again, we have it from Hudayba ibn Yaman through authentic chain with exact details of the biographies of everyone in the chain. Anas ibn Malik, born in 612 and passing away in 711 in Medina, is another eyewitness. So it was not only witnessed in Mecca but also in Medina. Then we had the narration from Abdullah ibn Abbas, again a well-known companion. Then Abdullah ibn Umar, another well-known companion. There are so many people, both Muslims and non-Muslim, reporting the event as eyewitnesses. In Islamic terminology, it is called mutawatir, meaning that so many people authentically reported that it is impossible for them to agree on lying. Do you call this a myth? Do you call an event a myth with so many eyewitnesses whose every minute of biographical details have been verified? Extending beyond the Muslim community, Ibn Kathir in his renowned historical work Al-Bidayah wa Nihaya lists non-Muslims eyewitnesses. Notably, figures like Walid ibn Mughira, Abu Jahl, Amr ibn Hisham, Al-As ibn Hisham, Al-As ibn Wail, Aswad ibn Abdul Yaghuth, and others who were non-Muslims and even the enemies of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. It is significant to emphasize that these non-Muslims, despite being adversaries, were also eyewitnesses to the moon-splitting event. Had it not occurred, they would have definitely used it as an opportunity to discredit the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Imam Ibn Kathir documented this in Al-Bidayah wa Nihaya. Additionally, renowned scholars such as At-Tabrani, Qadi Ayat, and other famous historians have referenced and acknowledged this narration. Qadi Ayat, a prominent scholar and historian, has included this in a narration in his book titled Al-Shifa. In another significant account found in Uyun al-Athar, a distinguished scholar highlights the testimony of the enemies of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The polytheists of Mecca wanted to know if the event was witnessed by people outside Mecca. So they questioned the caravans returning to Mecca, and each one independently confirmed witnessing the moon-splitting phenomena. So the scope of eyewitnesses' accounts went beyond Mecca and Medina, involving people from different parts of Arabia. The Quran anticipates that if the idol worshippers known as mushrikeen had not witnessed the moon-splitting event, they would have raised objections. However, in reality, they didn't object because they too had seen the event. The skeptics, agnostics, and atheists might raise a valid question. What about people witnessing the moon-splitting event outside of Arabia? Firstly, it's unrealistic to expect people to witness such an event during the daytime, as the moon is not visible then. The moon split that occurred in the early part of night in Arabia, then regions like North America, South America, and Europe would have been in the daytime. So it would have been unrealistic for people in these regions to see the moon splitting event. What about in the eastern part of the world, such as Japan and Fiji? It might have been very late and most people would likely be sleeping. Yet, if we look towards the east of Arabia, particularly places like India, it would still have been the earlier part of the night and some people should have certainly seen it. Now the question arises, why don't we have the reports from other regions like India? Yes, indeed, evidence exists in a manuscript called Qisatul Chakravarti Farmat, an actual handwritten document stored in the British Library in London. According to this manuscript, a king by the name Chera or Al-Sultan Chakravarti from Kerala in southern India witnessed the moon-splitting event and subsequently embraced Islam upon meeting Muslim traders. The National Digital Library of India confirmed a digital manuscript of the book translated from the Israel Oriental Studies Journal by Dr. Yunan Friedman. According to the National Digital Library of India, there are multiple oral and written traditions affirming that Cheraman Purimal, the king of Malabar, India, who ruled from 621 to 640, witnessed the moon splitting. This timeline aligns precisely with the early period of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, mission, considering the Hijrah in 622. The library emphasized that numerous oral and written traditions validate Cheraman Purimal's witness of the moon splitting event before his conversion to Islam. This account is supported by Zainuddin Makhdoom's book titled Tuhfatul Mujahideen and confirmed by Dr. Hermann Gundrit, a German Christian missionary scholar and linguist whose work is also in the digital library. The credibility of this historical fact is emphasized by the Prime Minister of India, who created a gold replica of the ancient mosque built by the king of Kerala, Cheraman Purimal Chakravarti Farmat, and presented it to the king of Saudi Arabia, symbolizing the history of Islam in India. This collaboration between eyewitnesses' accounts during the time of Prophet Muhammad, verified and endorsed, provides substantial evidence. It surpasses the evidence available for many historical events such as the arrival of Christopher Columbus in America or of Vasco da Gama in India without proper record. Yet we accept these accounts as true. The polytheists of Mecca didn't deny its occurrence, even though they attributed it to magic or other explanations. Collaborating evidence, including historical documentation from India supported by a Hindu historian, further validates this as an accepted historical fact. The convergence of manuscripts, writings, and oral traditions strengthens the claim that this event was indeed a miracle during the time of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. To those who are skeptics or seek answers, we encourage researching into the life of Prophet Muhammad, exploring the Quran, and learning about his other miracles as sources of guidance. I recommend Dhruv Ratee not to rely solely on hearsay. Dig beyond surface level information, engage in extensive reading beyond just internet sources. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.